Hey, we live, we live, we live, we live. Hey, we live, we live. Today we're in Atlanta right now. We out here with a very good tattoo artist. He's gonna tell you his name, and like I always say, I don't like to introduce people because I could never introduce anybody better than they can. So he's gonna tell you more about himself and tell you his name.
Alright, what's up, y'all? My name is Moto. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a tattoo artist, DJ, aspiring actor, and
Okay, so he says the DJ. So he got all these talents, right? So let's dig a little bit into your to being a DJ. How did you get into that?
I've always been. I grew up around hip hop, so I was a b-boy when I was a young kid, and then when I was 10, my buddy's brother had some turntables. And as soon as I touched them, it was just like it was meant to be. You know what I mean? So then from then on, did my little thing, got my own little set. And then just kept going from there.
Okay, so how about the artist? Like how being doing tattoos and everything. How did you get into that?
I was a graffiti artist, so I've always been an artist by that. You know what I mean? And then actually I was doing a DJ gig out of town through a tattoo party, and I seen how much they got made.
Yeah.
I said, well, I mean, I could do that, and I could do it way better. And I bought a machine the next day.
No, that's cool. I know a lot of people do get into like one of my friends. He's a tattoo artist, and he got into it because he was drawing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he was.
I've always been a drawer. So.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was doing it because he used to play football. So, and he was just like some brolic dude, couldn't even put his arms down. But he's real good now. He's doing his thing. But we talk about you today. So, back to you. So you said you do the tats, b-boy. I mean, and what else you were saying again?
Tattoos. I'm a DJ, and then I do aspiring actor and stuff like that too.
Aspiring actor. So what about the actor? How did you get into that?
I basically booked my own gigs and stuff like that at first, and then actually I did a lot of music videos. I did music videos for Roots and stuff like that, and it just spiraled from there. It's something I'm really interested in, have a passion for. So when I moved to Atlanta, the TV and movie scene is buzzing hard here. Yeah. So it was just a good opportunity for me to explore that.
Okay, so we're gonna get back to that, but first, like I always do, like I like to go backwards because no matter what you're doing today, it came from somewhere. Mm-hmm. So I like to, something that you probably don't know about me, I was a teacher, so I used to teach and I taught every grade from kindergarten to 12th grade, and I still do it here and there, but I've learned that teaching in middle school, that's kind of the age where you're really trying to find yourself and you just like all over, like, you out there with these friends, and that's where you kind of choose the kind of people you really want to be with.
Right.
So I want to talk about middle school for you. You can start off. I like to know about grades and use numbers, letters, and I also like to know about how you socialize with your peers.
Me in high school or middle school, I was kind of like, I had friends. I had friends of all different kinds, but I was kind of a loner. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I chilled with myself. I chilled with other people, but it wasn't like I had a certain clique of people that I chilled with.
But why was that? Like, what was that?
I don't know. It was just me, you know what I mean?
The only reason why I asked that, because a lot of people, I was kind of somewhat similar to what you were saying inside, but like a lot of people felt like I was a standoffish, but I did have a lot of friends.
People think that all the time. I'm standoffish or I'm an asshole.
Yeah, there you go. That's me. I was always that. So you gotta send me my friends, and I was always the dude that was wilding out and bugging out. You can even ask this guy over here. We used to be bugging out all the time, running from him because I used to do dumb shit.
Yeah.
So that's how we. That's how
I had a group of good friends, of course, but like I said, I don't know. I was just a free soul, so I did my own thing.
No, I understand. I definitely understand. So with grades, like how was like for middle school?
Middle school was all right.
Like, so what's all right? Because I've heard somebody say all right, and it was like.
I on a roll.
Okay.
I on a roll in middle
That's
school.
Good, then. That's
and
good.
then in high school, it all starts to change and stuff like that.
So so your transition from middle school to high school, like I know you lost some friends because y'all go to separate ways in the sense of like schools and other things, people have moved. So what was like that transition for you? Was it like nervous? Like was you nervous going into ninth grade, or was you like?
No, not at all. I wasn't nervous going into ninth grade at all because I knew a lot of the older kids that was in high school already.
Okay.
Anyway, you know what I mean? But it was an experience. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the greatest of areas. So you know what I mean? It was like
you had that regular life. Yeah, you gotta worry about the things that's going on through the area. But I think that's something important to talk about because a lot of people live in these type of areas where it's unsafe for them to go to school, or you can easily get into the drug game.
The wrong scene, absolutely.
How is it for you to how did you stay out of that?
I think that's where me being a loner and doing my own thing benefited me with that. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't one to follow what this crowd or this person's doing. You know what I mean?
No, I definitely
doing my
understand.
own thing, and then if you fit into that, then we hung out. You know what I mean? But if you didn't fit into what I was doing, I wasn't gonna go out my way to do something.
See, now I get you on that because a lot of people say that they're leaders, but you see them follow a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And especially at a younger age, even nowadays too, because a lot of people want to be in.
Mm-hmm.
How did for you? I know,
especially these days, it's a whole lot of pressure to be.
How do you stay out of that? Being that you said you're doing all these 3 different things from acting, tattoos to music.
How do I do what now?
Kind of stay away from following, because I know definitely when you're being a DJ, people are like, no, this is what I want, or this, and you gotta be
right. I mean, that's just me being my, I guess, creative self alone. You know what I'm saying? Not following it, and it's not like I take it. I wouldn't consider it following me. I just take certain ideas and stuff from other people that interest me, and use that towards what I do. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Try and create something new. So. I guess being an artist, it kind of reflects in all aspects of your life in some sort of way.
Did you ever feel like when, as you was growing up, being that you stood off a little bit, that people was like, oh, you're weird?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that all the time. I like when people say that because that makes me feel different.
I
do. So I'm like, oh, I'm weird. Oh, thanks. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Cookie cutter person. You know what I'm saying?
Same thing. Every time. That's what I say. You guys run around following people, but you never really have your own personality, or you never really satisfied with yourself.
Right.
But okay, so we'll get back to high school. So how was it going through high school for you?
It was actually cool. The DJing thing. So that's the thing with high school is I didn't graduate because I had a choice. I could tour and do these concerts around the world, or I could finish high school and I chose to tour, which I wouldn't have gave up for anything. You know what I mean?
I think that's ill.
And I wasn't gonna let that piece of paper define who I was. You know what I mean? You hear so much, it's like you're not gonna be anything if you don't have that. People, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm doing great, and I got to see things that people still to this day have never got to see.
But that's the thing. A lot of people are so used to that regular life of going to school, working 9 to 5, and you're not living. You're just getting by.
That's right. And that's my biggest thing is not being a day-to-day robot and doing what society may think you need to do.
Because that's kind of that's the same thing for me. I came straight from New York, didn't have that much money in my pocket, just out here, just moving around, doing what I gotta do just to survive, but not living that 9 to 5 where it's
absolutely.
I'm not happy, I'm not having fun.
You don't know who you are.
Yeah.
As a person. You know what I mean?
No, I definitely understand because in New York, I know a lot of people. I could have stayed up there and just been going around interviewing and just the same thing, but it wouldn't have made me happy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I definitely get you on that. So being that you didn't finish school and you was touring around, how was that for you? That experience?
That was an experience that was like nothing else. You know what I'm saying? It was some of the best memories of my life that they're doing that.
What's something that you remember from traveling around, one of your, some moment that you can say or whatever, that was just yo, I never will forget that.
I was DJing for Drag On from Rough Riders.
Yeah.
And we was on a show. I was actually on his tour bus.
Yeah, I was a fan.
I got off his tour bus, and I guess all the fans was out there. And the chick was begging me for something to give her. It was I don't have anything, so I pulled out a cigarette because I was a cigarette. She's like, can I have a cigarette? You know what I mean? So I gave her a cigarette, and she was just like, oh, I'm never gonna smoke this again. I'm nobody. You know what I'm saying? But I bet you that girl to this day still has that fucking cigarette.
I feel you on that because it do make you feel like that. But like you just said, I tell people that when you're doing stuff, you may feel like you're nobody, but people look at you so different.
Absolutely.
They look at you you're just the best, and that's the thing I think when you kind of we'll go back to following people. Some people follow people because they see this image of them. They might have on a nice chain, nice clothes every day, but inside you fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't really understand that life is about being happy. What you did in your life, that is to me to have that on here is great because I hate that people really stick to the 9 to 5.
Yeah, I mean that's for some people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? For some people, it's good.
For some people, it is.
It
Not
just
for
wasn't
me.
for me.
Yeah,
And I still couldn't imagine that, you know. And I've had to humble myself in times and had to get that 9 to 5 just to make ends meet. Yeah. But I was always pursuing my dream and what I wanted to be. You know what I'm saying?
But that's part of life though. When you get that little 9 to 5 or whatever, just to keep you going until you don't have to have that 9 to 5, that's good. Better than just sticking in that 9 to 5 because you feel safe.
Right.
Like, you know. But let's get more in detail about like each one of these different things that you do and like what really push you towards that way. So what was the first thing that you really got into more so out of all 3 of these things you've done?
First thing was DJing.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the first thing I got.
And what age did you start that?
I was 13. I got my first set of tables.
Okay.
And I just totally immersed myself in, like I locked myself in a room and didn't go outside, like period, for so like 4 or 5 years. That's all I did. I go to school, come home. I would skip school just to come home and cut.
So are you one of those people that like whatever you're doing, you put your 100% into it?
Absolutely. I'm self-taught with everything I have. Yeah. So tattooing, to DJing. I mean, I was self-taught in the beginning. Of course, you meet people that do it, and you learn from them and stuff like that. But
that's part of life. You got. There's nobody that's ever done anything that has not taken something from somebody else.
Right.
It's just that you make it better.
Absolutely.
You can look at Future and Designer, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's using that kind of voice, but he's making money. You know what I mean? Like, it's just about how you can do what you do, but
brand yourself.
Yeah, brand yourself better. So that's cool. So from them 5 years, when did you start feeling like you was comfortable enough to just go out there and do that? Like when you was turning 18, that was just iffy, or like before that?
No, I was doing parties and stuff in between that 5 years. You know what I'm saying? But it was like I was more of a competitive DJ. You know what I'm saying? So like scratching and beat juggling and stuff like that. I mean mixing, of course. I mean that's basics and standards. But that's why I would be in the room so much, because I would be trying to learn the newest cut or the newest beat juggle or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm watching Rock Radar or Mr. Sinister over there, and they're doing this juggle, and you're like, how the fuck are they getting this? You know what I'm saying? And I'm locking myself in the room, figuring that shit out. You know?
But that's good though, because a lot of people don't take initiative. They always wait for people. And when I say that, it's like a person, they'll sign something for like a house or something, and then they'll go in the house and they'll be like, oh, well, what about this and that? It's like, but that's on the paper.
Yeah.
You know, like they don't really go through it to understand everything.
Everything.
Yeah, and I think when people really start understanding whatever they want to do and really understand the whole thing of it, they can be great at it, but people just want it given to them.
Right.
You know, and that's not a part
of it. Yeah, they want it given. That's absolutely true. I think it's going to come easy.
Yeah, you're going to have those days where you're going to cry, where you're going to be mad,
absolutely.
You're going to hit the wall.
You're going to be nervous, you're going to do all that. Yeah, it's all that.
How was it for your first time DJing?
Nervous. Yeah, nervous. You
but
know
at like what point of
you shaking, you're like, holy shit, all eyes on you. And then that's when you gotta capitalize, you know what I'm saying? That's when it counts, pressure. So pressure-based diamonds.
Basically. But so how did it go into, so what was the next thing you did out of all the 3? So first it was DJing, then what was something that came, like when, like at what point of you doing the DJ did you expand out?
It was the tattooing is what came next, and it was just because it was slowing down, I wasn't doing so many shows, and I had to find another avenue to something that I loved. Yeah. It was art, because I was always an artist. Okay. So it just was natural for me to pick it up like that.
Do you still have like your first thing that you drawn, or like something like from when you was younger that you drawn?
I do have stuff from my mom. Got a lot of stuff that I actually looked at recently. Yeah. That's like a lot of my old stuff. Yeah.
And the reason why I really go back and stuff, because a lot of people are so focus on the future, they never look back to see where they came from, because then they start being so hard.
Or how you even evolved.
Yeah.
Like I can see tattoos that I did 5 years ago, and I'm like, wow, I would approach that a totally different way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's kind of like the big.
You're growing.
Yeah, you see that, and you need to look back. That's part of my show. Is like I want you to look back, because some people are so hard on themselves, they don't look back to be like, you know what, I am way better. I just gotta push this or do that or do this. You know what I mean? So. At what age did you start doing the artist stuff, or you was just doing that kind of at the same time? But
what do you mean, like just drawing or tattooing wise?
Drawing into tattoo.
Drawing, I just was always a drawer. I was fascinated with graffiti, so like hip hop was just a big thing in my life. Period. From b-boying to DJing to graffiti. You know what I'm saying? There's all elements of it. like, that's where I came from. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's me.
Yeah. No, that's cool. You know what I mean? All right. So what's so the last thing was just acting. When did that come in?
Recently is when I really started taking it serious. It was about 4 years ago when I moved to Atlanta. That's when I started getting my really big gigs. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So how was it? Like, what was your first gig and how was you feeling?
First real gig was The Game on BET.
Okay.
And I played a tattoo artist, ironically. But I was tattooing the main characters. Okay. And I got 5 minutes camera time, and that was like a big thing for me, you know? That's like a big booster for me, you know what I mean? Then I went on to did the startup with Diggy Simmons and Tiana Taylor, and just going from there, you know?
That's cool. That's cool. So, okay, so at this point in the time, this is when I like to kind of get all your stuff out there, like your social media, all your handles, if you got websites, you know, just talking about whatever you're doing that you want people to kind of tune into. So I'll give you an example of it, just so I'll do mine first and you do yours. So like I always say, this is Rain Check. We got Rain Check Live on Instagram. We got the YouTube channel Rain Check. And this is coming straight for live from Facebook. So this is Rain Rickard. So that's regular Rain, and it's RICKARDS. And you gotta stay tuned in and definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel. Now he's gonna hit you with some of his handles.
Yeah, my Instagram is Moto Llanes, MOTOLLANES 79. You can also follow Moto on the Go for my new TV show, where I'll be traveling around, doing tattoos, eating food, talking about the culture in these different places. So you can check that out, and that's Moto on the Go. And they have an Instagram thing, a Facebook, Twitter page, you can follow all that and the making of it right now. And yeah, that's that right now.
Okay, so at this point of the show, we have like 3 more questions, and these are like the questions that really kind of just really help some people out there. And one of the questions is like for me, you know, I never was an open person. I was always bottled up with everything. Now you ask me, I'm telling you. You know what I mean? I was like that because I lost a lot of people in my life. I'm 30. From the age 22 to now, I lost at least one person a year that I was close with. You know what I mean? And it was hard for me. I was bottled up. Everything I was doing was drinking, smoking, and I was doing it more so like because it was helping me, or I thought it was helping me. Like, you know what I mean? But now I cut that back, and you know I like to ask people because, like you said, everything that you've done was never easy for you.
Never easy.
You know what I mean? It had to be somewhere in your life where it was really tough. Because I lost one of my closest friends. Me and him were the same birthday, same age. He lived on the floor 7, I lived on 17. I was a minute older than him. So we celebrated everything together. When he got killed, I wasn't there, but I saw him, you know, as he was like trying to get his bread, breathing, you know, I'm standing over him talking. So that was hard for me, you know what I'm saying? To see somebody that was basically my twin. And you saw him, he looked similar to me and everything, you know, standing over him trying to, I didn't have nothing, I couldn't do nothing for him, you know, and I'm not saying that's the hardest thing for you, but I give you an example because I know it's tough, that it's tough things out there. So what was something hard for you that you had to go through?
There was a point where I was sleeping underneath a skateboard ramp, you know what I mean? Like, just to get by. It was in a shop, of course, like a club, but I mean, I was literally sleeping behind a thing underneath a skateboard ramp. Yeah. Because I just had no other place, you know what I mean?
I understand.
And that's when life really hits you in points like that, because you're like, man, you think about tanking other directions or getting that 9 to 5 because you're like, yo, this shit's not, you know what I mean? By the grace of God, you know, he's blessed me.
Nah, I definitely believe in that too with God, because a lot of stuff just coming out here, like I've been struggling myself, but you know, that's part of life, the journey. You're gonna go through those type of struggles. I'm close to those too myself, so I definitely understand. With everything that you're doing, this is like the second question. With everything that you're doing, what is like your all-time goal? Like, what do you envision?
My all-time goal, I would like for the world to know who I am. First off, respect the name, respect my brand. But then not only my all-time goal is to do something that puts my footprint in the world. You know, I want to be remembered for something. You know what I'm saying?
No, I definitely understand.
That's my biggest thing. My goal.
I definitely understand what you say.
I want to leave my mark on the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so people can look back and see who you was. Nah, I definitely understand that. Another question, this is just a regular question of like, if there's anything we didn't go over or something you might want to mention, you know, you can talk about it right now.
No, I think we pretty much covered it.
All right. No, that's really it. You know, this is the Rain Check Show.
Thank you,
We
Facebook.
definitely came out here and checked in on him, and you got to keep checking in. But we're gonna have all his information up on here, so you can just check it out. If you couldn't hear it or you didn't get it, you'll get it. And like I always say, we live. But when I always say one thing is that you got to get your own on your own. When I say that, that means you got to get yourself right before you get anything else right. And you know, we was here. This Rain Check.
Real talk.
We out.